Thank you so much, Kavita. So if you see in your program, there's a few QR codes, and one of the QR codes will take you to the anthology of writings where you can see and read Kavita's piece. Thank you again for this beautiful set today, and let's welcome Krissy Bergmark. Thank you very much.
Hey y'all, how's it going? What an incredible night so far. It's such an honor to be up here with all of these musicians. It's been really wild to meet a lot of my cohort members in person. This is the first time for most of them, so that's been really lovely. And can we give one more huge round of applause to Sara and Jen for putting this whole thing together? I just really appreciate them bringing everybody together like this and admire what they do. So my name is Krissy Bergmark. This is Simone Baron on accordion and piano. Yeah. And this is D. Meyerson on bass. I met these two separately at different musical things. I met Simone at the Global Musician Workshop in 2016. It's been a while. And I met Adi at Banff in 2018. And I wanted to bring them together here today because they're just two musicians I really admire. They have just like a really powerful, creative individual sounds. So we're going to do some improvisation, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Oh. Thank you so much. This is Simone Baron on accordion piano, Adi Meyerson on bass, and I'm Krissy Bergmark on tabla. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Krissy Bergmark and her amazing trio, Adi and Simone. Thank you so much. Yeah, so how are you all? I love how everyone's just laying out, spreading their belongings. No, but we want you to be here relaxed, and food and bathroom are at your disposal. So yes, well, Krissy is going to wrap up her tabla and come down. Just a reminder that our anthologies, I see some in some hands, are out there, 2 for $40, 1 for $25, usually for $30 online. So now is a very, very good chance to get some Christmas gifts for your friends. Yes, very good stocking stuffers. And if you want to enlighten some of your friends and loved ones, it's a very perfect opportunity to do so. So Krissy, whenever you're ready, I'd love to talk 1 minute. But Krissy's partner was Tara Kanangara, who's an amazing Sri Lankan trumpeter, composer, vocalist, and singer-songwriter. Who could not make it, unfortunately, but hopefully another year. But again, our commissions are on mutualmentorshipformusicians.org, and they are amazing. Their piece was incredible. Your piece with Tara, Krissy Bergmark, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! How do you feel? How was the set? And tell us about how you constructed this trio.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel good. I feel exhilarated. Yeah, one of the things that I love about free improvisation is like the radical acceptance of it all. So getting up there and like maybe having some ideas, and we rehearsed and put some things in the bank, some things that we would maybe touch on or explore. But yeah, then getting up there, it's like, you know, you're there and in the moment, and it's all response, which is really, really amazing. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
And if I may ask, because I think many people might be wondering, when did you start playing tabla, and what about it called you to the instrument?
So I started playing tabla in college. I started out as a classical percussionist, and I took a class in a particularly difficult year. So it kind of showed up for me in that way. And so I started playing, and the whole next summer after that year, I just spent practicing and studying and watching videos of Zakir Hussain. Oh, amazing. So yeah, and then I kept going, and once I was done with school, I was like, you know, this is the instrument for me. This is really what I want to study and pursue. So I got hooked up with my teacher, Pandit Yogesh Samsi, and then I studied with him in Mumbai a few times. I'm going back there in January, so yeah.
How does he feel about your composition and your improvising? Has he heard you perform your own music?
Yeah, he hasn't heard me live, but he's heard some of my music, and you know, it's interesting, like pursuing tabla, as you know, somebody who kind of came up in a classical percussion world, because I think that there are things about like classical Indian tabla players that I don't know that I'll ever be able to touch, because it's its own, you know, really deep tradition and art form, and it's got its own rules. And so kind of playing tabla in a way that both honors that tradition and that vocabulary and where all of it comes from, and then also exploring some of like the incredible breadth of sound that you can get from just these two small drums, you know, is kind of where I like to try to live. So, but yeah, I think he appreciates it. But he's a really wonderful teacher and always very encouraging. So I'm very lucky.
I'm sure that you inspire him, for sure. And I wanted to kind of talk about your time at M3. I know your partner's not with us. Maybe she's watching on the live stream. But Tara Kanengera, how did you guys connect? And yeah, I mean, what was, tell us some of the juice that created the beautiful piece, which you all have to go home and check out, the beautiful piece that you created, which was so personal and makes me cry every time, still.
That means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I think, you know, when Tara and I got talking, we met a bunch of times over Zoom. We were, you know, we're in like our mid-30s, very like particular time of life, and I think it's like you've lived long enough to like have watched things happen and kind of start to understand the arc of life, but then it feels like you have all these choices to make, all these decisions, all these questions, and so I think there was something about our conversations that kind of brought to mind this like very like visceral presence of like time is passing, and this is what's happening, this is where we're at. And so I think, you know, in a way, hopefully the I don't know, the radical acceptance of playing a free trio is kind of honoring that, you know, of just like, we're right here, right now, this is what we're experiencing. But yeah, we talked a lot about, you know, in the piece, we talked a lot about like loss and kind of honored loss, and also talked about moving forward. One of the pieces that Tara wrote that I love is "What is it time for?" It's so good, and it was such a privilege to work with her too. It was so wonderful to work with another musician who is just could pull some really incredible things together, and I feel like she pulled a lot out of me too. So, yeah.
What memories do you have of our cohort meetings? I mean, I remember your moderation being very, very powerful. If you wanted to tell us about, you brought in Rest is Resistance and read from it, and we yeah, that was really, really, really life-changing for me, because I hadn't encountered it yet. So, yeah, I mean, just in general.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I had heard about Trisha Hersey's work in the NAP ministry, and she wrote this book called Rest is Resistance that talks about kind of reclaiming our time and our ownership over our bodies and our energy, and how important in so many aspects of life, like spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, actually taking time to rest is. And I think, you know, in particular at M3 and our meetings and like as musicians, we're so used to like the passion of what we do kind of folding into the work of what we do, folding into the passion of it. So sometimes it feels like there's a really blurry line between work and play, or maybe like we're always working. And so, yeah, we took time in that session to just like rest, which was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was really nice to just like create some space, and I think there's a defiance to it too, and there's definitely like a social justice component of like, no, I'm reclaiming my body. I'm gonna take some time and be at peace with myself. So.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We met at Banff at the International Jazz and Creative Music Workshop, I think was the whole name of it. And Adi also got to meet you both, so we're just so lucky to have you like join us. And thank you for your incredible talent and your pioneering path, and we're gonna follow you. So Krissy Bergmark, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Woo! Yay! I see my idol Zena Parkins is behind me. Zena. But no, so yeah, definitely one of my huge inspirations first coming to New York. Not only the instrument and her kind of path-breaking artistry on it, but just Zena as a person, and she, I was maybe a little afraid of her, but she's actually really nice. So